Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Black Forest Duel between Dobryj, UK Rop, and he's playing second Panzergren, and he's going up against ISI playing as 39Y. We'll cover the deck reviews, then the map, the matchup, the deployments of the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Okay, so this is the deck review for ISI, and he's playing 39Y, which is very surprising. Anyway, I recently did a deck review for ISI in this video here, which is well worth the watch. I thought it was a good video. And the deck is identical. It's 1-to-1 identical, so there's no need for me to just repeat myself for 20 minutes. So I'll just link this in the description, and if you want to see the deck review, you can check that out. His opponent, Dobryj, is playing second Panzergren. This is also quite a popular deck, division even, but we'll go through it tab by tab. I'm sure you're all quite familiar with it by now. Essentially, the way this division wants to work is gets a nice forward deployment, and then you just spam Marder 1A3s for the rest of the game and Leopard 1s, and you should be alright. so, so, first things first, you do want 3 cards of supply on this division because you're intending to fight a long game, which means that you should have 3 cards of supply so that you can, you know, supply your guys. In terms of CVs, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 CVs. So he's opted to not bring the forward deployed CV, which in a 1v1 can make a lot of sense actually, because if you're paying, 100 points for your first CV out just to get like a small point lead, it can be worth it. But generally, particularly at the higher level, people don't really worry too much about, oh, I gotta get that small lead at the start. At the lower level of the game, it's very important because attacking is hard. So it's if you get points at the start, you can just sit there. Generally, you'll win. But at the highest level, it's not actually as important because people can attack more or less. So yeah, you can bring this one, which is 85, or you can bring this one, which is 60, and it is much better because it has smoke, it has a DMR, it doesn't have an AT though. This is Yeah, so this is the one a lot of people bring because it's got the infantry AT and it's got a stinger, right? That's what a red eye is, like a proto stinger. And so lots of people bring this. This one can work, or you can pay 25 points more for that. To be honest, at this point, you might as well bring the forward deployed one. For 25 more points, you can get that forward deployment. It's probably worth it. Otherwise, yeah, you can bring this, or you can open with 2 of these. When I play second Panzergren in team games, I actually do bring this, because we tend to play it on Hesse, and Hesse is basically very, very, very difficult to attack on. So we just buy 2 of these and get the early points. So yeah, Logi, 3 cards of supply, and then this is a nice CV. It's like this one, but for 10 points more. I could have sworn it used to have 3 front army. Anyway, it gets smoke, and it is faster on and off-road. Or you can get this one, which has smoke and it's wheeled, or you can get this one, which just dies to 1 hit from anything, but it's got 1 more availability. But yeah, this is my personal favourite. It's very common. Then Marder 1A3, so typically people will bring 3 cards of these. I'm quite surprised by some of these picks here. Basically, the Jaguar 1 is really, really, really good. And so you've already got a Milan 2 here. So you can get rid of this one to get the Jaguar 1. It's good because it's got 6 front armors, so it just tanks the hit and then shoots back. Also, this Hot 1 is like bugged or something, and it has a lower reload time than any other ATGM in the game, apart from like Hilo ones, I guess. Yeah, usually people will bring 3 cards of these. And he swaps that out for some extra planes. What? That's weird. Fallschirmjäger, yeah, this is for the Panzerfaust 3. You can bring it at 1. I prefer to bring it at 1 vet, so I can spam out the Panzerfaust 3s. Especially given that he doesn't actually have the other Panzerfaust 3 here. Whoops. Oh, crap. It was this and an Iltis. So I'd have that at 1 there, and then, yeah, Pioneer Carl Gustav you want in the Fox, and Pioneers you want in the Fox, because this is quite efficient for 20 points. Super fast, really nice off-road speed, smoke as well. Really helps these guys out. Having these, you can redeploy them as well, which makes it useful, whereas the truck would sell itself, and it literally costs the same. Obviously, the truck, you get your money back. But these guys, they even get into the fight faster. Look, it's got a faster road speed. And yeah, usually there would be a third card of Marder 1A3 Balans here. So it's quite surprising not to see that. Arty, yeah, so you don't need this many howitzers, so you just get rid of that. And then, yeah, 2 of these is very normal. You put a CV next to them. 2 of them together can one-shot, can one-volley, 3 top armor heavy tanks and stuff. It's a lot of fun to use. It's not a lot of fun to be on the receiving end of. And mortars for smoke self-propelled is better than towed because you can move it around so it doesn't get shot. In terms of the tanks here, people generally prefer the Leopard 1A5 to the 1A1A1 because the 1A5 has 1 more pen at the same range because it goes up by 1 for every 175 meters, so it would be 18 at the same range. More accuracy, and just keep in mind this is at 2 vet. Yeah, I mean, it's got more pen, more accuracy, more range, right? All that for 25 more points. Generally, people see it as worth it. So, generally, people run it like this. And then, yeah, 6 Leopard 2A3s is very normal. And the Jaguar 3 the Jaguar 1 is basically a must bring. Recon, so Jäger Aufklärer for fighting recon. So, typically, people upvet this by 1. Can be nice to have a recon helo. And then Scimitar and Lux have sort of similar roles. The Scimitar's better at shooting people. The Lux is better at looking at people. I think I prefer the Lux, actually, because at the start it's a little bit faster off the mark. And when they changed autocannons, the Radar is not what it once was, in my opinion. And the Lux is, it's not actually that much worse. Also, it's got very good optics, which means that you can put it with your tanks later on, and then your tanks can actually see something, whereas if you put this with them, it's only got good optics. So I personally prefer the Lux now. I used to prefer the Scimitar, but times have changed. Also, like, if you don't have the racist to give you exceptional... So, like, racist Scimitar can work, because then you've got exceptional optics for your tanks, but if you don't have those, then you just bring the Lux. And it sort of does both jobs. This is an interesting... So it's just like cheap recon, I suppose. Or you could pay 15 points more for the Panzerfaust 3. And less availability. 15 points more is quite a bit. I mean, it's basically half the price of the original unit, more or less. So, yeah, I mean, it's just that this goes at 100 at the start. Whereas this goes at 90. So it's not as fast, but... I mean, you can do what you want. I think paying 15 points more... Because you've already got a card of recon in here, so like, how much more do you need? You only lose 1 availability. You get that Panzerfaust 3. You get that 100 kilometers an hour road speed at the start, which is very useful in certain places, depending on how good your map knowledge is. AA, so this is pointless, don't do that. You'd rather have either... So, like, the Gepard is nice. And then you want the Zwillinger for shooting people. If you want to shoot a helicopter, just use the Gepard. And yeah, the Zwillinger's very good at shooting infantry. It's kind of broken, to be honest. So you really do want that. Helis, so between the bows, I prefer the one that's better at killing people. And then planes, so this is why he's got less infantry and so on. And I suppose because of what's happened here, we've got 1 AP spare. Which brings you back to this. I suppose you could... I mean, the extra howitzer doesn't really make much sense. The Lars, you'd only get a volley out, and then you don't really want to use that. Could update your smoke mortars. Or you could... sorry, sort of the same thing that's going on here. It's just this is an intermediary between this and this. This, if you get it at 1 vet, you can actually bring it at the start, near the start, like in the first minute, you can just buy it. And if it dies to counter battery, it's not actually that big a deal because you've still got your actual RT, which you're going to move after every hit. So if you're going to do this strat, then this can be more useful. Or you can like 2-vet your smoke mortars, depending on... Because a lot of people bring the smoke mortar and then never use it. So if you're not going to use it, then, don't bother, basically. But yeah, this can work. I've seen this work. People would just buy one of these in, like, literally after the first minute. And, you can just hit those early ATGM positions. And because it takes, if you buy one of these near the start, you lose, because you lose a minute's income. Whereas this, you can still get, that and one of these in a minute, for example. But yeah, it's a lot of bombers, basically. So usually people would have one less bomber, one less HE bomber. And then that would be their extra, because, I mean... You're going to run out of infantry, basically. It's a grim reality. So this is actually a 2-point slot. So yeah, what you could do is downvet this. Okay, fair enough. And then get rid of this. Get rid of that. And then you can get another card of Panzer Grenadiers in the Marder 1A3 Milan. Ta-da! And if you're like, well, I definitely don't need that, which I don't agree with. So you still want 12. Well, now they're all at 2-vet. Isn't that wonderful? So yeah, long range fighter, short range fighter, AT plane, HE, also HE. See, generally instead of this, people tend to bring like the Harrier for the early game, because like, what do you need two HE planes for? It's a lot. Or you can bring the Tornado IDS cluster. But yeah, generally people would work a Harrier in, because like, let's say you buy this in the first minute, it's going to get a lot of kills actually. Because you can strafe multiple people. I mean, just try it. If it doesn't work for you, take it back out. Anyway, that's it for the deck reviews. Now we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the map. This is Black Forest, and basically, Blue's kind of on the better side here, because you can forward deployed rush into Boris, and Red cannot forward deployed rush into Anna. And that's all there is to it, really. Blue gets Fedor at the start, Red gets Center at the start, usually, but, we'll see. And if you're a tank division, you'd kind of prefer to be on this side, because even if you lose Boris at the start, attacking Fedor is going to be much more easy than attacking Center, maybe. Although generally, people just don't bother with Center. But yeah, generally, Blue is on the good side. In terms of the matchups, 39Y is a solid mid-division. I'd rank it as like solid B tier. It's just 79Y is just a better version of the same division. ISI is the only guy I know who plays 39Y. Some people play it in tournaments because 79Y gets banned, but generally there's always a better option. Second Panzergren has and will always be the meta. It's always been an S tier division. In tournaments, team games, 1v1, 2v2, you name it. Second Panzergren, very strong division, because it just does everything. As you saw in the deck review, it's got the forward deployed infantry, it's got the IFV infantry, it's got decent logistics and, command vehicles. It's got the best artillery, it's got really nice recon, forward deployed recon, recon deployed recon, fighting recon, wheeled recon, tracked recon, exceptional optics recon, recon helicopters. I mentioned the artillery, it's got medium tanks and heavy tanks, right? And it's got really nice AA, man pads, the funny AA guns that just kill everybody, the Gepard, the Eyehawk, and it's got a really nice air tab with the Tornado, the F-16 anti-helo thing. Before that was added, Second Panzergren wasn't seen as that good, because you would just open helicopters into them and just kill all their forward deployment, because they don't have forward deployed AA. But now, well, I say now, it's been a while. This bad boy here just defends your deployment for nice and cheap. You don't have to buy that 250-point Tornado. This kills all the helicopters it's designed to. So yeah, the div's frankly broken, and I don't understand why it's still like that. So yeah, let's cover the deployment. So we've got Dobby here, and he's sending Fallschirmjäger and forward deployed Milan 2s. I forgot to mention that. I'm surprised he's putting it there. That doesn't really make sense. If you're going to take this ground, you might as well put a Milan 2 in it, because that's the whole point, because then you can shoot across here with the Milan 2. And you can also shoot down here with the Milan 2, and so on. And then we've got Jäger Aufklärer fighting Recon. He brings it at Novet, and that's going to here to look at things. Recon Helo to scout out center. 2 ATGM Helos, which is an interesting choice. Oh yeah, so it doesn't have it doesn't have anti-infantry helicopters. It's probably the only thing it doesn't have. Yeah, we got the short-range fighter we spoke about. In mid, he's rushing some Fallschirmjäger. They're going quite deep, actually. You can get to here. I'm not sure you can get to here. Jäger Aufklärer, especially given that he only brought the 90km/h transports. CV for Anna. CV for Elena Fedor. So is this road faster than that road into Anna? It might be. 2 more ATGM helos, Recon helo, and forward deployed Milan 2 trying to get all the way down here. Switching to his opponent, we've got ISI playing 39Y. I know, you're very surprised. And he's sort of doing the same thing he usually does. So he tends to buy this at the start. We'll see if he bought a fighter, otherwise it's just going to immediately die to this. There's only 1 per card, and yeah, it's just Recon helo, and then tracked Recon deployed infantry, not wheeled Recon deployed infantry, so he's going to get there very slowly. And 1 motor stroke in a BTR-60. He does bring his Recon at Novet, which I think is a big mistake. But, you know, I've pointed it out 3 times now, so I guess he doesn't want to change it. So, Razvedka Saperi, these have satchels, so they want to get in close and throw satchels at people, at which point them being at Novet makes them not very good at doing that. And then, yeah, another tracked Razvedka BMP-1, because you don't get the Razvedka BMP-2 on this division, unlike 79Y. Another Razvedka Saperi, and that's going over to here to secure this to stop you from being shot in the side on Boris, as we spoke about. And then a supply, an Igla, 2 Conkers, 2 Saperi RPOs, 3 BMP-2s, a Cub, and a BMP-1K3 CV for Dmitry Boris. No CV for Santa. So let's cast the game. Alright, so they're up, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen. Give you 1 join at the lowest levels with 2,000 views, so if you're feeling bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. This is my sole source of income. We are not yet financially viable. I don't know if you've heard about, like, all these guys making YouTube is killing my channel videos. I think the death of Warno is killing my channel. Nobody plays this game anymore. So like, the views are going down, but I don't think it's because of YouTube. I think it's because this game is simply less popular. So that's very sad, and that's why I shill so much. Anyway, there's actually 2 fighters here, right? Did I mention at the highest tier you get your games cast at a rate of 1 per calendar month? It's a great way to improve, or if you just beat somebody you don't like. Anyway, this guy's going to die, as we expected. If you're playing against 2nd Panzergren, they should always open fighter. And now, like, this is 1 fighter versus 2 fighters, so this is not a good idea. This is probably going to die. And he dies, as you would expect. So, a really not great start for Red. He probably should have opened 2 cheap fighters, or, you know, a Tornado and a cheap fighter. And then he probably would have been able to do something about that. But look, you see, even though these are airborne deployed, like, this is supposed to be red zone, so these cannot get to here. He has repathed them to there. It's interesting, the Razvedka, because this is at 90. If it was at 100, it would have got there first, but this is at 100, and even though it starts further backwards, you know, the bigger the map, the faster it catches up. So yeah, loads of helos here, and that guy should be hidden a bit better. Only 1 Igla BTR-60 is being withdrawn. You could do something funky where you only unload the front vehicle and so on, but like, what's the point? He's not withdrawn these enough, they're still getting shot. So, okay. I dodged quite a few of them. And the Igla is claiming its victims. So, yeah, I think Blue probably should have withdrawn a little bit sooner from there. Over on this side, obviously, Blue took this because red just had one. Well, he should have had a Resvedka Saperi coming in here instead of this Most Strelky, but you know, blue needs to get some infantry up here. But blue is still on that +1 because, and it will be a +2 soon because, you know, he's going to contest this and red can't capture this, so it does matter. So BMP2's hosing people down now. There were 3 of them. I guess this Milan 2 got another one. I'm not sure what the plan is here. But yeah, just having that helo out at the start was very optimistic, frankly. So Tornado HE, because like this cub hasn't revealed yet, so he thinks there's just an Igla, and frankly the cub probably isn't going to kill this. So if it evacs straight away, it should be all right. As you can see, the cub has to hit it twice, so it might hit it once now, but no, I missed. So another bomber. So I don't really agree with this. He needs reinforcements on the ground. And maybe this one will die. I mean, the cub's been shooting a lot. It's going to hit something eventually. So he does actually get 2 units there, and almost a third. So yeah, maybe it was worth it, but I don't really think so. Imagine if instead he'd bought Pioneer Carl Gustav, Pioneer Regular, Milan 2, Fliegerfaust. I don't think he's got him in the deck, actually. He's just got 4 Eyehawks for some reason. And then he would have taken this. Instead, he killed this unit, and he killed a couple of units here. And he's still losing this fight because red's actually buying ground units, right? Oh no, red's bought a bomber as well. But notice that. This has just run out of fuel. Because it's up for 4 minutes. So I don't know if he did that intentionally or what. But it was pretty smart to bring it out right now. Because that's when the fighter runs out of fuel. And yeah, so blue is losing this position because he just bought a bunch of bombers instead of you know, some ground-based stuff. I think he should have bought one less of these on each side, so that's an extra 120 points, and that should have been like a Leopard 1. I put this here, bam, bam, you know, and a supply, Leopard 1 and a supply, and then he can, you know, shoot people. And he can sort of stop these from coming in, but instead he just brought infantry, then he bought 2 planes, and now he's been pushed out. On this side, I mean, blue's helos have ran off. You'd expect to see like an Igla over here. He's got 2 coming over here, but I think he obviously needs something here so that he could kill these. Or he could buy a fighter, but keep in mind red's made some mistakes as well. He lost the SU-27 at the start because he tried fighting a 2v1. And the Tornado has been buffed up a bit now. It's still worse than the SU-27, but it's not as worse as it used to be. So now blue is buying the ground stuff, but you know, imagine if he'd bought it earlier, he'd actually be in here now. But red isn't really capitalising on that. I suppose he is a little bit with this coming in, because these can't shoot that. They can only shoot the vehicles. And yeah, you know, he can heal this. He's trying to make a play for Fedor. He's got the CV, so just keep in mind blue is on the +1 because red hasn't managed to secure center. And it looks like he's just ignoring center. He doesn't want anything to do with it. It's a shame, really, because if he'd got 1 Igla, you know. The other thing is these come off cooldown every 1.5 minutes. So you just got to keep in mind that these are going to keep coming back. Particularly, like, the one he hurt is going to be gone for, like, it's like 7 minutes, 7 to 9 minutes, something like that, if it loses all its 9 of its HP. But as you can see, they're a bit temperamental. That one just didn't kill this guy. But blue's probably going to get center here because red just hasn't reinforced it or anything. A shame, really. I think if he'd opened with an Igla on this side, obviously it would have gone way, way, way better for him. He just would have had this for free if he'd opened with 1 Igla. But, you know, hindsight's 50-50. So, Recon coming into here, like, you know, on the plus side, ISI has managed to just take Fedor. He did kill Marder 1A3 over here. The Cub needs to move in between shooting, or somebody's going to shoot it. And the Sultan comes in, but that's not very smart when this is here. Don't know if he knows about it. So it misses, but he's going to have to leave anyway. I wouldn't move that out of that house, frankly, because if Armada comes over here, he can just kill you. You need to be in the house so you can hide behind it. And yeah, I can't see this thing dying actually now, because the house is going to block that. Saperi RPO, claim another victim. And yeah, you can see the advantage of second Panzergren is that he can, if he chooses to, get a lot of ground units out quite quickly. It's just he bought those 2 planes and it completely killed his momentum. I think this is... No, I think he bought another one, because that 4 minutes is 36 and he bought that at like 35, so I think he's bought another bomber here, and I don't think that was really worth it either. I think the... I mean, I guess he's trying to... if it was the same one, it makes sense. If it was another one, it doesn't make sense. But here you go, blue gets this, because red kind of gave it up. And now it gets a bit weirder, because if red had managed to hold on to center at the start, he'd just be winning, and he could just kind of sit around. But instead, you know, now what? Just need to move these up, I think, and secure this area. You know, like the Igla, the Boatstralky, like secure all this. Because otherwise, you know, you're just giving up all this space for free. I guess these don't have smoke, otherwise they would be. Although, you know, they are running away very well. And these Leopard ones aren't really going to be able to do too much because they have the minimum range gun. Because he brought the wrong one, in my opinion. And the Igloos are just claiming these helos, right? So that's interesting. He actually gets the Sultan there. He dies for it, but that was definitely worth it. Yeah, it'll hit him eventually. And it might get this transport, and that would be 20 points lost to red, but there we go. I mean, that's 65 points lost to blue, so it wasn't worth it, really. But yeah, blue's managed to take center. He could have done it a bit faster if he'd brought his, his Pioneer Carl Gustavs, and his Pioneers should be in the Foxes, not in these cars. Like, for example, it would have smoked there. That was not a great auto-cell line. And there's a T-80 BV here. I guess you would try and move it up to like here and then poke out and shoot these guys and go back in, and poke out and shoot these guys and go back in. He's got more Cubs because he knows about the air spam. And Osa now as well, because that can get a bit closer. It's wheeled, right? So it can... it's got nice fast road speed. But Blue's basically wasted all his ATGM helos because he had 4. And they're all dead. So, case to be made for not buying all those at the start. This guy, he's dead, basically. And yeah, more planes, because there's no Ihawks, I suppose. This will have been the one from before. And there you go, the triple Cub there. Triple Cub double Igla does take out that plane, as you might expect. But the plane gets the CV, which had plenty of time to move, so it's a shame, you know, if he just fast-pathed it down the road, I think it would have made it there. So I suppose a good trade for red, but I personally play with very few planes, unless I'm deliberately playing an air spam division. I generally don't buy the planes. I prefer buying the ground stuff. I don't think the planes really pay for themselves usually. As you know, I do a lot of 2v2 games with Fortitude Fence, and I see him buying all the planes and they all just die. And if he'd bought an equivalent amount of artillery, they wouldn't have died. So... you know, he's probably the only high-level player I know who, like, reliably air spams. You can air spam. There are air spam decks. There are air spam divs. Second Panzergren gets the air spam ability. 39Y is generally not regarded as an air spam div. It's just, you know, imagine if instead of that you had 2 more BMP2s here. You'd get so much more done, right? If they were in front of this, with the infantry, this would be behind them, and you'd just kill all this. Right? Now he's buying some more BMP2s. So, heavy arty coming out here. And he's dead, as you might expect. So I guess Red's plan is to push Elena. Because it is a +2. I don't know, I mean, I suppose 39Y does get a lot of inf, but would it beat second Panzergren in the town? Probably not. But he does have a Grad in his deck. So he could use the Grad. I suppose he's sort of doing both, right? Because he's coming over here as well. Not much of a combined arms force then, but use a Recon and an Igla rather than 4 BMP2s. But there you go, see the Osa, you can bring closer. I prefer the Strela 10M because, what if he buys the seed? This is seedable and this is seedable. But if he buys the seed at this point, he'd have to be very careful with it, because if he just flies it in here, it's just going to die, because everything's going to shoot it. Oh, he's bought the seed. Well, I don't watch these ahead of time, you know. I just, you know, people tend to come to the same conclusions if they know roughly what they're doing, right? You can sort of predict. Obviously, it's not always the same, right? We're talking about how I don't buy that many planes unless I'm making a concerted effort to buy planes. Ihawk's up here. That is going for what? The Marder, okay. The seed got hit by the Osa. I guess he was turning it off and on, and that died to the Ihawk, which, I mean, yeah, Ihawk Gepard, very potent combo. That's the issue with buying these planes, right? The Ihawk's going to shoot him. I don't know why he's coming in. That was not very intelligent. And now he's going to evac over the Gepard, so he's going to lose his second SC-27S there. So that's not ideal. All that for a 30-point helo. He had an Osa, he could have killed it with that. It just didn't make sense. The Cubs need to move up, though, right? So this needs to heal. This can move up to here. And, yeah, you'll note that he just gave up this ground, so Dobby has managed to put some people in here. Tornado IDS. The Osa does hit it, and the 10 Gorillion Cubs and Iglas do find their mark, and this is the issue with the air spam. AA is cheaper than A, and so, you know, you can sort of get like a cool momentum game going, but I don't know, basically you have to focus the enemy AA constantly with your air, and dibs with Cubs are kind of hard to do that against because the Cubs can shoot from so far away and they're 4 per card. It used to be 3. This is an interesting piece of kit. I would say it's the only thing exclusive to 39Y, but it's not, because now the East Germans get a dip with this as well. But there's the Grad. I guess he's going for the Ihawk, which is probably sensible. And there goes the Ihawk, so there you go, that's good. He needs to... Because like the Panzer Grenadiers should win this if they get in this building and this building, but he's just sort of running into him, so this won't fire and this won't fire, so he's probably just going to die. So yeah, there is always, you know, micro to be done, right? Oh, interesting side shot here. He needs to... Well, I guess it's going to die anyway. So yeah, that guy died due to just gross negligence. If he'd just got in here and this had gone in... I suppose this can't shoot from there. So yeah, that was a failed push, because this is going to die now as well. Big shame. Yeah, the RT... But Blue, basically, as you can see, because he's bought all these planes, has nothing on the ground, and he is paying for that. So this will probably die here. Yeah. The Cubs are too far away. He is moving them up now. This is the one from before, most likely. The Ihawk is dead, right? And, yeah, I mean, this is usually quite a hard one to lose. But, what can I say? Blue bought way too many planes. And Red, he bought some planes, but he focused more on the ground game, as you can see. Some assets not really being used here, like these guys. Particularly, like, you can leave the infantry and just move the tanks or something and come in here, and these guys could advance. Obviously, you should unload them and so on. Try and get some recon, right? An Igla, maybe. The cluster plane died, which is not particularly surprising, given it was hanging out right next to the enemy base. This was on attack move, so as soon as they left the range... Oh no, it was on auto cover, so it prioritizes going into the trees rather than keeping the missile going if it leaves the active range. It should continue to track for 2 seconds, but if it's on attack move, it'll keep moving, and it'll lose the tracking. And if it's on auto cover, it'll go for the trees and lose the tracking. It's quite surprising that trees are... Auto covers are more important than, you know, anyway. So, yep. He's using the planes, right? But Red, like, so he's just stopped investing in the ground game for here, really. If all of these had come over here, he'd take it by now, but he's also become plane pilled. And as you can see, the reinforcement line has just completely dried up. He's starting to get a few guys in now, but, like, come on. So Blue's plane waves are actually doing something. Will he break LOS here? He should do. It's close. And like this hasn't moved, so we could shoot that maybe. Grad's off cooldown, about to be. But yeah, it's a shame. Red could have taken this, but he wanted all those planes, and for some reason he's got 4 BMP2s sat here not doing anything. If they weren't going to attack here, they should be over here, right? And this one should move up. Bring the tank in now. Move the Iggler up. This needs supply. This can move up. This should hide behind this building. Just that sort of thing, you know? So blue is taking losses here, but he does manage to defend his zone, which means that red is actually technically still losing. And a lot of that was just because he bought those planes. The Grad as well, I mean, I got the Eyehawk right, but it's not helping this. That could have been another minute of infantry or another one of these. Right, because it's 220 and you got to buy the supply and so on. Could have got this. And then he'd be in the zone, but alas, okay. I thought I was trying to work out whether it's because of this one. These only have good optics. I forgot about this. It's got very good. So Tornado coming in for the Conkers. That is something you can do with these dinky teams. You can just strafe them, but this is not a good idea because there's like so much red AA here, and he's just flying over all of it now. Okay. He really should have died there, but whatever. I suppose because this doesn't have any ammo and this doesn't have any ammo, this only fired 1 instead of 2. And this didn't fire any. Bomber's back. He's going for that Milan too, but it's not there anymore. Although the Gepard's dead now, so nothing can hurt it, really. This guy's trying to find that tank. More helos, but the Tornadoes are still upright, and these aren't. I suppose this is re-healed now, this isn't, so... Not sure that's such a great idea, because surely the F-16s can just come and kill you. Wouldn't it be better to use them around here, maybe? Because then you've got your cover. I suppose he's bought a fighter now. This is that cheaper one I was telling you about, really cost-effective plane, and it's 3 per card, unlike this exact same price British one, which is worse in every way. And it's 2 per card. And like, night follows day, planes have been dispatched to kill ISI's helicopters. So... that missed, which is actually quite surprising. And then, yeah, this is gonna... Well, I mean, the enemy fighter's behind him now, so... But it's out of... 64 bullets enough? Probably not, actually. Yeah, it's not. So this is dead. Yeah. So close to victory and yet so far. But you'll notice that blue's got nothing here. What red should be doing is these should be going around to prevent blue from getting more infantry in there. It's a good grad volley. There were a lot of guys there. But yeah, the helo purchases weren't a great idea either. Like, where's the infantry? You could do with another OSA here, or just move the Cubs up. Why are they so far away? Oh, 2 of them have died. So I guess that seed must have got 2. But yeah, red, I mean, obviously there's not much here from blue, but what red needs to be doing is getting around, because otherwise it's not going to go so well for him. And then this guy, is he really getting in there with no cover? I don't think so. I think this would be a safer bet. Because what you can do is... Alright, look, he's moving the armoured stuff now. It's basically what we spoke about. What you can do is, once you get here, then you can come for this, because they can't, you know, you can sort of get somebody up to here, right, round this way, come back this way, that sort of thing. Stop them from reinforcing, basically, is the idea. You take zones by stopping your enemies from reinforcing them. But yeah, this is... So he could use his smoke, that's why he got the one with smoke. So he could smoke. But this will eventually die, it's just buying him a little bit of time. And presumably blue will put a CV in here. Doesn't have one already. So the leopards are turning over, and they are killing people. I really do think that well, it depends how fast blue buys the CV, really, but you know, this is a more reliable take. But he's not cutting the reinforcements, so more pioneers are coming in the wrong transports. And, you know, if you basically need to get to here and to here as fast as humanly possible, even if you have to bypass the infantry in the town to do it. Getting a guy in the church is a good idea because it lets you see people, but you need to stop people from coming in. We've got another helicopter here, and the Gepards are just going to come kill this guy, although this might shoot them. And yeah, so he's buying very expensive CVs now. That's a very dead helicopter. Just some more My Kingdom for some ground-based instruments of war, as opposed to all these helos and planes everybody's shitting out. Making life very difficult for themselves, but people get into this mindset of like, oh, I need to kill him right now, and that's where that comes in. But yeah, I mean, ISI, he's on a +4. That will soon go to +0, so he needs a CV for this, and here it is. He does need some more AA, right, because he's lost 2 of his cubs, so he can buy 1 more cub and 1 more Osa, I suppose. That's going for the arty, which is actually a really big kill, because that's 1 minute's income if you tried to click on it. It was 260, just believe me. So that's a big kill. Yeah, so tanks coming in. I don't know, this isn't looking great for blue. I'm not sure what he's going to do now. He needs to secure this and then sort this out. And he does have he had the tools to sort this out, but like, he's still got his reinforcement line here. And I suppose he's got it here because the Marders are going to shoot everybody, but sooner or later these tanks are going to show up and kill the Marders. You'd hope, anyway, depending on who you're rooting for. I suppose if blue attacked here, there's nobody here, and he would just walk in because everything was sent. But yeah, like this BMP2 has been forgotten about. This could be put in a defense like there, and then what you're going to do, you got to kill that if you want to move in. Or here, maybe. Right. This is making me want to play Warno. Anyway, bomber back in. Bomber back in. I mean, these I think have already been purchased. So there's nothing new there. And there you go, there goes that tick. But he is currently winning. He needs a CV for Anna, really. And, yeah, really likes his BMP2s, I guess. But 79Y gets more, and it gets the better ones. With, I believe, the cheaper infantry. No, this is 35 as well. Yeah, that's not great combined arms. You need another Sturm here, you need another Cub, you need another Rosa, you need a recon vehicle. He brought them at no vet, these, so you could bring loads of them. But instead, we're just getting I buy BMP2s, followed by I buy BTR60s. And it's not really what you need. You got to think about, it's like when you lose something, you got to try and replace that thing. Unless you bought it for no apparent reason, right? Presumably it was there for a reason, it was doing a job. And, like, so losing AA assets is a pretty big one. I mean, I can't really see Blue getting back into the air spam game here. I think he's lost too many planes. But if you lose your AA, you got to replace it, because then the bomber's just going to come back after it reloads, and you're not going to have any AA. So you can replace it with fighters, right? You can have fighters up. So there you go, there's a fighter. Another CV purchased. Yeah, here's your recon coming in now. But generally, people need to get out of the habit of just buying 5 of one thing, and then 5 of the next thing, and then 5 of the next thing. So yeah, that's a good position to be in, because obviously it covers this road. There's nowhere to go from here down to here. What he could have done is sent a Marder, like, down here, and just, like, parked it there and shot a bunch of the reinforcements, forced a helo response. He could send the Gepard as well, and then the Gepard kills the helo. It's better than them just doing nothing. Anyway, T80BV trying to cross the T here. This guy's coming in from the dumb way, so he's going to reveal himself, but I don't think there's anything that can shoot him there. And yeah, Red didn't put anybody here. I mean, I suppose he is now, but I absolutely despair when I see this purchase. I mean, what the fuck? You need to mix and match. Anyway, the T80BV, you know, this hits, that misses. It happens at closer ranges. You'd expect the T80BV to win, frankly. It's obviously going to clean these guys up, no problem. They're going to do like 1 damage to him. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Blue has managed to reinforce this, because Red didn't use his vehicles properly when he got here. He should have like got the, you know, the wheeled ones and the tracked ones round to the side, stop the enemy from getting back in. That's what it's all about. He's got a lot more vehicles now. Let's see what he does with them. He's on a +1 though, right? He's winning. So it's good to get the infantry up. Yeah, if you get in these forests, you know, you can shoot people as they try and reinforce and so on. Right, cut the reinforcements. It's very important. This guy's fast-pathed. I don't think the T80BV will be able to shoot him. It might get him here. Yeah, because look, he's coming down this road, so it'll just shoot him in the side, but I think it's going to die, actually. Yeah, Yeah, it dies. And, this gets out. It's 30% ECM. It's interesting that the fighter version has 20%. This has 30. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Saperi have ran out of RPOs, at which point you need supply with your attack as well. There's always lots to remember, right? And here we go. So this is coming in, and red. He does have a CV on its way, because it was coming as a backup for this one, so he will be able to sort this out pretty quickly. This is just running in unprotected. The sad part about Leopard 2s is they get one-shot, side shot by Conkers, so even if that was full HP there, it would have died. So they've only got 6 side armor, which is like the lowest of any heavy tank, basically. So that's quite a common matchup. Leopard 2s against BMP 2s, and the BMP 2s get a bunch of side shots on you. This bomber's back. Or it might be the other one. So red is losing a lot to these planes. He needs a Conkers in here, an Igler in here. Send these in. Where's that CV? That has been repathed here. This Grad should have been firing constantly, right? I mean, he knows where he is. He can shoot him with the Grad instead of running the Infin. And, well, shoot him with the Grad and then run the Infin. The enemy will be low cohesion and you should win the fight. This has run out of rounds, but the BMP2 should be able to finish it off, actually, because it's going to turn so slowly. But look at all this wastage here, right? This could be in there, winning that fight that much quicker, that sort of thing. He hasn't pathed this properly, so it's now going to auto-cover to the forest. Will that get it in? No, it won't. Okay. He's bringing in a cluster bomber instead. Okay. And the HE bomber for the CV. CV's moving, as he noticed. He has. So, yeah, okay, I mean, that works, right? He will evac over this Gepard. Gepard shouldn't kill him, really. It'll just really damage them a lot. So he should have... Well, I suppose if he'd evac this way, this Gepard might hit him, but then what you do is you just ping where the AA is coming from, and then you hit it, right? This literally hasn't moved for 30 minutes, so... it makes you think. And this guy actually survived, and it's like... just need to unload your units a bit faster, stuff like that. The Grad is a good idea, right? Just spoke about that. So that'll probably get the Jaeger. This guy needs to reverse immediately. Maldin Mig spots another Gepard position. After your AA shoots, you should move it, because the enemy should arty it, but that's not happening. I suppose that the one time it happened was this IHawk got hit by the Grad, and that was a good kill. So basically, the key to owning this zone is to own this forest, because if blue gets a bunch of guys up to here, well then red can't get in because he's going to get shot. And it's the same for red. If red gets up to here, then blue can't get in because he's going to get shot. So this is a nice idea with the scimitar. Yeah, you could get a couple of tanks in, but basically I think blue's taken way too many losses, and now he's also doing the I buy 10 of one thing at once thing. So we've got a bunch of Leopard 2s coming in here. I suppose, and then, 2 IHawks makes sense. But you'd want the cheap supply so that you can buy 2 of them and supply both. Scimitar's probably going to die here. Yeah. So these actually aren't so bad, frankly, for 45 points with the smoke. Like, this used to be 16 pen, but Pact doesn't allow bad equipment, so it got buffed up. So HE2 coming in here is going to get the CV, and like these could be sold, This should move after it fires. If he counter batteries you, you're going to die. It's like a little truck. It's not got any top armor. It's not got any armor. Less than 1 armor, which is the lowest value. I don't think there is a 0. Alright, well, okay, I suppose infantry has 0. But less than 1, from what I understand, actually gives the enemy a multiplier against you. So, something to keep in mind. Seed's back out. This Cub's been out of ammo for a very long time, and he also gets killed there. So it looks like blue did have some air spam left in him, so I was wrong with what I said before, right? And you ping this Igler, and then you try and kill the Igler. You don't just keep flying around it until it, until it evacs you by hitting you twice. Because, yeah, red didn't refill his AA. He lost 2 Cubs, and he didn't buy any more, right? Didn't buy any more AA, but he is winning, right? Blue just doesn't have anything on the ground here. Like, this will probably be his last hurrah, but I mean, frankly, this game is kind of over. It looks like he's just going to play it out for the next 7 minutes. But, I mean, he wants to waste ISI's time, that's fine. He doesn't get to waste everybody else. So, big unload here, but even if he gets in here, he still only owns half of it. But yeah, it just goes back to this thing about ISI should be pressed up to the edges of the town so the enemy can't just get in. Another thing to do is get an infantry into here, right? Get an infantry into here. Okay, now he's just fast pathing past this Milan 2. Does he have a CV here? Grad's going to get a lot of kills. HE bomber goes down. This is actually going pretty badly for red. Don't understand yet. Oh, his CV died, right? Is he out of CVs? No, he's still got some more. Fighter's going to fly over the Eyehawks and die, but... Okay, this guy's not very well hidden. I mean, you know, truth be told, Blue's giving it a good show, but it's mainly because I assume Red has just stopped trying, because he's like, well, I've won, what's the point? He did manage to neutralise this, so it's still going to be a +1. He's now bought 40 AEBs. 40 AEBs is going to be 2 Leopard 2A3s, or 1 Leopard 2A3. He's resupplying that Igla. Igla's got a lot of hits this game, actually, Mr. Krasnov. Backup CV. CV for here. Yeah, I mean, this game ended 10-20 minutes ago, but Blue really wanted to fight it out. Okay. And that's it. So, GG. I don't know, I mean, do you wish I hadn't skipped at the end there, but it was just so obvious Red had won that, and, yeah, Blue just sort of dragging it out. ISI, he plays as NATO, apparently. Yeah, I wonder what he plays. We know he likes 39Y, rank 224, and Dobby, rank 129, and he plays a lot more NATO comparatively. Obviously, it's actually less, but I mean, like, he has 7-pack games, so... Yeah, 602 total, 3,755 total. So, yeah, I think just go easy on the air. I don't understand why 39Y is running the SU-24s anyway. Surely you'd want the SU-25s. Or at least the SU-25 AT. But, I don't know, it seems to work for him. Yeah, focus the enemy anti-air. Don't buy 4 things at once. I suppose those are the key learnings from this video. Do let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. GG.